Calories are the last thing on Paul Denamiel's mind when he's in the kitchen of his New York City restaurant. The French chef has been whipping up rich buttery fare for more than a decade, and his customers are well aware the dishes aren't exactly diet-friendly.
To an establishment such as this, people are coming to splurge, and it's moderation. They're not doing this every day. They're coming here and they're not concerned about the caloric value and what they're eating and things like that.
But moderation at mealtime is something a lot of other New Yorkers aren't exercising. The Big Apple is fast becoming the Big Belly. Obesity rates in New York City are skyrocketing. 20% of New Yorkers are now classified as obese, and health authorities are getting worried.
The problem in New York City is no different than it is in the rest of the world, which is that obesity is not only still increasing, but it's associated with many other risk factors like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So if you do something to reduce obesity, you also reduce the other associated diseases, and that's what we're trying to do.
The city is tackling the spread of obesity by targeting the places where a disproportionate amount of calories are consumed each day. The New York Health Department has ordered most fast food outlets to post the calorie count of each hamburger and pizza on the menu.
What we want consumers to know is how many calories each of those menu items has, so the consumer can make their own decision. So we're not at all restricting anybody. The only thing we're doing is saying, if you're going to put the menu item and you're going to put the price up there, you also have to put the calories so that at the point of purchase, consumer will be able to figure out what the best deal is for them.
Fast food restaurants serve about a third of all meals in New York City on any given day. Some chains already let customers know the numbers behind the various dishes on offer. But in many other places, people are blissfully unaware of just how many calories they're pushing down in a single meal.
You have a 2,000 calorie pizza. That's all you have to eat to take in your daily calories. You put a drink and a salad and a couple of other things on top of that, and you're way over, not by 50 or 100 calories. You're over your daily caloric intake by thousands of calories. That's why people are gaining weight.
Marion Nestle is one of America's most outspoken nutritionists. She believes the new law will make a difference to New York waistlines.
Well, there are some preliminary studies, a few, very few, that show that when consumers are informed about the number of calories in some of the fast food items, they will pick the smaller ones. As I said, I think people will be absolutely shocked when they see how many calories are in some of these items.
Maybe not everybody.
The day I'm going to McDonald's, I'm not really going to care about calories.
So that wouldn't make any difference to what you order?
No.
I actually think it's a really good idea. I mean, it gives people a little more information about whether or not they're making the right decision about what they want to eat.
The fast food chains and their supporters insist the calorie counts will not produce a thinner New York, and they say it's another case of the government overstepping the mark.
What I question is the fact that there's not a single shred of evidence to suggest that any of these policies are going to work. And it's absolutely irresponsible policymaking to adopt such a draconian regulation, frankly, a regulation that has costs on consumers, costs on restaurants, frankly, costs on consumer freedom as a more fundamental concept, the idea that you should be able to just enjoy your meals.
Oh, that's hilarious. I just find it very funny because, of course, the state has a role. The state has a role in every single aspect of the food business, from production to consumption. And this is simply another part of that role. It isn't doing something new or breaking new ground. It's just tweaking an existing system.
The crackdown on New Yorkers' eating habits is one of several government measures that have triggered debate about personal freedom. Last year, New York banned trans fats from the city's kitchens. New York, Washington, and several other cities have banned smoking in all restaurants and bars. New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg insists governments have an obligation to tell people how to lead better and healthier lives. Critics say it all smacks of a fast encroaching nanny state.
I think it's really insidious the way that they're approaching these policies, because it's kind of like the old adage about how you boil the frog. You put them in the cold water and you just slowly turn up the heat. Americans are losing liberties one at a time, but they don't recognize that each one of these little liberties is one more liberty that's lost and that you'll never be able to get back.
Nonetheless, those behind the calorie crackdown hope it'll extend well beyond New York and well beyond America.
There are proposals like this all across the country, and I actually expect that there'll be proposals in Australia as well soon. I think this has caught on. I think it's an idea that's helpful to residents in any area.
Just how much people want to be helped remains an open question.